come across a lot of real alpha men. So, in your words, what is an alpha man?
My perspective is 98% of men today are beta. An alpha man doesn't need a validation from a woman. An alpha man is not, we're not cute. Point blank.
Yeah.
It's just like, why do we need to go out our way to be prettier than a female? Like, what are we doing? Like, an alpha man is really sacrifice. I sacrifice myself. It's no different from the lion that may be lazy, right? Once the other lion comes to challenge, it's a lot of times it's life or death for them, or even when they cubs, they sacrifice themselves. I offend a lot of people because, I'd be like, I am God. I am the it. I am everything that is. Like, you cannot separate me from what that is. Like, so if you're going to say, well, the Most High Power is the creator, I'm the creator, then I am the Most High Power. Like, it's like even when you have a child, like I try to make it practical as possible. If two people make a child, right? What is that child? That child embodies everything that you are, like literally. All the trillion cells we have in our body, that child has those same cells. We are already what we want to be, right? And like that's what we have to really, really digest. Like I think a lot of people have a hard time of digesting because you say you may be stuck in this place or I have this vice. Listen, everything that a person desires to be in retrospect, internally, spiritually, emotionally, you already that. It's already in you.
Let's get it, man. What is good, brother?
What to do?
What's happening with you, dog?
Shit, everything good, everything up.
Yeah. We see you got the new look going.
Trying something new. Shoot.
I ain't never seen you with the fresh body though, bro.
When I cut it, I was like, damn, I'm probably gonna rock it for a little while.
You like it? Yeah.
Bad.
It's different. So, man, let's go ahead and get into this intro. Welcome to another Cold Game Conversation. I am your host, Jazz Avante. Today, y'all, we have a very special guest. I say that all the time, but this guest today, when I say he taught me pretty much everything I know in training. My first encounter with him was back in 2019. I was looking for, a training opportunity. And I met him through a mutual friend, and he just, I don't know what you saw in me, but we're going to talk about that. But he just like put me under his wing, y'all. And I learned from him indirectly and directly. So I appreciate you for that, bruh. Man, this is my brother, John Kennedy, man. Go ahead and let them know where to find you. Let them know a little bit about you.
Oh, well, yeah, again, y'all know my name, John F. Kennedy. She just told y'all. Yeah. The brand or the product and what we go by is Jump God Athletics or now Jump God Performance because we have that underlining side of it, which is Jump God Nutrition, which we kind of just brought it all together.
Yeah.
And I've been just doing performance training, and just, general training as well for the public for a long, long time, man. And I think I'm just one of them individuals that's in the game, but that has embodied, everything that I talk about.
Yeah.
I am the product, whether it's nutrition, whether it's training guys. That's what I do.
Nah, that's a fact, though. I be telling people 40 at 40. This man can literally cold without even stretching go and jump 40 inches. Like, what? Like, you always been athletic like that?
No. So the thing is, you could say yay and nay. I didn't always have the bounce. I didn't really just get the bounce until like my junior year in high school.
Okay.
I think I've always been pretty fast, doing other things. But as far as just jumping, it really didn't come to my junior year.
Okay. So what I like to do with everybody, I like to know who the person is behind what they do. Start, from the genesis, man. When you were a child, dog, like give me some of your highlights as a child, man, leading up to the man that you are today.
As far as highlights, my highlights, I guess I'm always give it to my mother who is no longer with me.
Okay.
And kind of just watching her grind daily. She was a woman that would work 2 to 3 jobs. She was an entrepreneur herself. And to see that, I mean, that empowered me so much, and especially just to see how she used to get up day in, day out, and bust her ass. And initially, it was for her kids, for me, you know. And I mean, as far as that, as a child, I mean, I didn't have much. You know, she was a single mother, didn't really have much. So, I mean, that was my highlight, I guess. Just it's kind of odd to say that, but just watching her do what it take to provide a better life for me and my brother.
Okay. In high school, like where'd you go and all that?
High school, I went to Hastings High School, like for, I guess, half of my high school year. Then I went to another high school by the name of Girls and Boys Preparatory Academy.
Okay.
And it was for basketball, you know, and at that time I really wasn't a focused individual, you know. And you can, well, when it came to sports, I didn't really give it my all. Was very disciplined in that lane of my life because I think I was just, you know, I was more on the lines of who my mother was and just being a provider, trying to make money. That's what I was worried about.
Yeah.
And not even really putting two and two together. Like, man, I could, you know, be disciplined, put up my all into a sport, and that would have took care of everything. But I really didn't have nobody in my life which is never no excuse to, you know, help me make certain decisions and choices to, you know, hey, man, if you just did this, I'm telling you, bro, you can go make this and this and this and this and that.
Yeah.
Bro. So my focus was in so many other places at the time going through high school. So, and then I did get a little bug in my ear, and that's why I went to Girls and Boys Prep to try to, like, take it a little serious. But, you know, I think by that time it's already habits formulated, and you know, you don't have the awareness at that age to, you know, make hard decisions or to be able to dissect what you're doing.
Okay.
Ultimately. So,
What kind of kid were you? Were you like in trouble? Were you quiet? Like what type of kid were you?
I'm not gonna say I was in trouble, but I was a pretty like quiet kid, stayed to myself. But it's just basically what I was around that I guess will cause the trouble thereof, whether I'm doing it directly or if I'm getting in trouble indirectly being who I was around, because who I was around was the streets, you know what I mean? So you get kind of caught up in certain things that you probably shouldn't get caught up in. And you know, you know, you get those consequences thereof.
Right. Okay. So did you go to college?
No, a little bit. Yeah, I did a little college, man, in Colorado. I went to a JUCO, Otero Junior College, and tried that out, but still couldn't get it right. Actually got in some couple physical altercations and kind of just messed that all up for me.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Take us. Okay. So what got you? So when you were done with that, like, what did you do, or when did you even find training? Take me through that.
Yeah,
transition.
so I mean, that was a time in my life where my mother was very sick, and again, you know, then, you know, now my mind really is, man, I got to really, you know, get myself together because, you know, I need to help her out. And she ended up passing. And, you know, that's that time in my life where I had to figure something out. I didn't know where I was going. I tell the kids all the time that, you know, me growing up, I never thought about being a trainer. It's not something that was, it wasn't a goal, a life goal of mine. And actually, Slim, my wife now, she was really the energy behind me doing this training thing. Because even at that time, I was already like naturally, I ain't gonna say naturally, but I was pretty strong. I did like working out. It's something that I took a liking to. I like to do that for myself. I was always learning. And she gave me the ideal of, man, why don't you go try to be a personal trainer?
Right.
Man, ever since then, I kind of I took her advice. I give her flowers on that always. You know, she pushed me into this direction.
Did you start independently or did you start working for somebody? Okay. Really?
Yes. Yeah, so some of my first clients were actually, they was out of the military.
Okay.
I think 2 was out of the Army, 1 was in the Marines, and then like 2 was in the Air Force or something like that. It was the weirdest thing, but they entrusted me with the training. But yeah, I started independent, man. Man, pretty much built it from the ground up.
For sure. Was it fitness only when you started?
Yeah, fitness only.
Okay.
And I started more so with I know a lot of people might not understand about kettlebell training. That was really how I got started.
Were you like real into the tricks and stuff?
Yeah, all
Ooh,
the flow. Yeah, I was.
that's hard.
Yeah,
That's dope
that
though.
was my lane.
Okay. Okay. So take us through like how did you get into like performance based training now?
And that was kind of one of them things where you fall into it when you done certain things for yourself and you're athletic. That's me. Let me.
Okay.
You're athletic. I just kind of used what I was blessed with, and knowing what I did for myself, I kind of figured, man, I know I can help a few other guys out, right? So that's kind of like how that started, and from there, me doing my own little recipe, and just knowing like, damn, I could, and people, they fucked with me, like
Yeah.
all other guys, like, damn, you got balance, like, what did you do? What you doing by the blase? And then
Yeah.
from there, I kind of just took it. That shit is serious as hell, and started
Okay.
trying to learn the ins and outs of performance training.
When you started like your own independent like practice, so what did you do did you start with going outside? Did you have a facility? Like how did that start?
Straight outside.
Okay.
I was at a little recreation center.
Okay.
And I just kind of used that gym the best I could, but a lot of times we was outside. I started outdoors,
Okay.
on that green grass.
For sure, for sure. Okay, now, okay, how'd you? Because I know you had your own facility.
Correct.
So how did that come about?
I just think like even starting on the ground, like then over those years, you really build up. And I think that especially nowadays, because of social media, we don't understand, like, I guess, guerrilla marketing, like, or word of mouth. It did everything for me, man. And once people start talking, I mean, there's no difference. And I'm your 258 brand. So what you did with that is what I did with my fitness. It was just basically, once people get to moving their mouth out, man, she doing this, she doing that, like, because you built that up. It's really no difference. Like,
Yeah.
people took me to the top. I give it to them.
Yeah, now that's a fact, man. I wanna talk about that too. Like what happened if you ready for that, like what happened with that? Like for the people who know, what happened over there? Like how'd you end up leaving there?
K Sports?
Yeah, Katie Sports Academy.
Well, I think
Like because it was a lot of
yeah, it was a lot. So that Katie Sports, like, I think that I'm gonna first say this. I think we did a good work there, and I think that there were so many strong-minded individuals on a unit, on a team, that we just couldn't formulate the capacity to see eye to eye on a lot of things. So, of course, at the end of the day, when you run the business, that's going to cause some separation for sure.
Okay.
And everyone will go their own way. And I think that's just basically what that was. I think you had a lot of talented individuals that came together. Everyone had their own individual visions.
Yep.
And within that, ultimately, and that's how I look at it now, especially, like, it's almost like a beautiful thing because ultimately that will happen.
Yeah.
In any way, like, even if we did get on one accord there, I think because of who we are as individuals, who you are, who Elijah was, who Ransom was, like, all of us, we was ultimately going to spit anyway. Because we're too great. We're great, man. Like, when you got that greatness in you, you got to let that shit shine, man. You can't keep that shit, like, all bottled in. And
Yeah.
so I think ultimately, and I think even for us, I think the way it ended, we're not going to get into too much detail.
No,
but
we ain't got it. Yeah.
the way it ended, it was kind of like bittersweet. I wish it could have ended a little bit more, I guess you could say a little bit more joy and understanding behind it, but it is what it is.
I'm over that now, but sometimes, Jay, I do a lot of self-reflection, right? Because I'm always asking myself, how can I get better? Like, I'm still healing through things, right? I just be asking myself, like, okay, why did that all transpire like it did? I wasn't trying to do nothing. I was just being me. Like, I didn't do nothing to hurt nobody. I'm over there just trying to make a way, bruh.
Yeah.
And sometimes I be blaming myself, like, damn, just like, do you be doing too much? Like you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just something that I deal with. You know.
That's interesting, and I'll tell you this. I feel like, from my point of view, I think you hit it on the nail when you say you were just doing you, and I think ultimately in this experience, that's what we have to do unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and sometimes we're not even going to understand it all. Of course, the people around us is not going to understand it, and we may offend a lot of people. We may hurt a lot of people's feelings, but ultimately, everything that you are and the process thereof, I mean, you have to go through that for you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be about a blame game or myself or anyone. Like, man, this is life. Like, it's happening. You know what I mean? And you know, we can't go through life trying to define and understand every moment, because I feel like that will keep us more like in that like a stronghold or hinge down, and ultimately allow us to continue to like grab hold of those vices. And then
I just talked about that.
Yeah, and then like you're not gonna let the motherfuckers go at that point. So so
You have a very interesting perspective on life. So I wanna
everyone says
I wanna talk about that. Like let's start off with you know, you say just be. You simply be.
simply be.
Dive into that. Like what do you mean by that? Just simply be.
Let me use this practical example. This just comes to my head. Like, I got a bald head now. So, you know, there's a lot of people in life that I have hair. I have hair. I can wear a haircut, all right?
Just be clear.
And image. I'm using this practical example. So there's a lot of people that'll be like, I don't give a fuck about what people think or X, Y, Z. I'm finna use this practical. And I think for like that attitude, right? That's kind of like how you can simply be. So a lot of people, or a lot of men, probably would shave their hair bald but still wear a cap. All right, so image is insecurity. They're really insecure, right? Because if you was to like just to kind of like let go of the image, or like you say, you kind of beat yourself up, or everything that is, or everything that I'm supposed to be, or everything that I need to be, or this is how I'm supposed to look, this is how I'm supposed to talk. If you can kind of just let all that go, that image, and just trying to hold on to all that, and just be. Like, I think you find a different level of gratefulness in life. There's a calmness about yourself, and that's me. Like, I don't, you know, and you're gonna have more energy to give to self. You gotta think about how much energy we put into the image.
Yeah.
Think about it, right? It's a lot of energy, and just to think, if you, like you say, you self-reflect, if you can take all that energy that you're pouring into the image on a daily basis, and you put that shit back into yourself, you're a powerful individual, man.
Ooh, I understand what you're saying, but that is hard for the masses, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
You got you know, you got people, you know, enhancing themselves. I have nothing. I have no negativity to say. You do what you do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, people are constantly enhancing themselves. Even men now, they getting the lace fronts now.
Man.
You be seeing that?
Oh man.
You know, so that is hard. Everything is like artificial now. So, like, okay, so how do you tutor or mentor the person who's battling with that? Like, what would you tell that person?
Well, you know how I am. I think that well, there's only so much talking you can do there for a tutoring in that space. I think it's just an act. Because I think what you're putting off and what the individual sees on a daily basis, I think is going to be more impactful than you actually trying to give them a word or an encouraging word or an affirmation to do every single day. Like, they just have to see you doing it.
Yeah.
I think people have to see, and I think it's kind of like what you said, because of the trends now and what everyone is doing, we are a creature of habit. So I think what we see more, that's what we actually internalize and replicate. It's not about like the talking. It's about what we see.
Okay.
So I think if people saw more people being, like I told you, just more free.
Yeah.
like really, really not giving a fuck. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I think it's gonna grab hold of a few because it's kind of like you said, people still gotta be them. I don't have no problem with anybody doing them because everyone has their own experiences. I'm not even here to say what's right and what's wrong, or my way is right, their way is wrong.
Yeah.
Because you gotta do what's best for you.
Okay.
Because like I had this big argument, you already know I'm not a religious guy, and so we be having these conversations, and it's like religious people are people that take that serious, which I respect all of you. First of all, it's like they want the respect thereof of like their lifestyle, but can't respect
This is true.
another person's point of view or lifestyle. And it's still I'm just trying to tie it all in. It goes all in hand. So again, that's just me. When you take all that, I'm still gonna be an individual that can smile,
Right.
get along with you.
Right.
It's cool. I'm not
Yeah.
mad. I'm not judging you. Like,
Yeah.
let's just chill. Let's just be, bro. Because we all know that we all gonna be differently ultimately anyway. And they say even in the good word, right, that few are chosen.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be a few chosen in retrospect to every walk of life, right? So whether you are the person that care about the image, you want to spend all your energy in the image, or you're the person that like, now let me dial back. I'm going to put that energy all back into me. Like I don't have time to be keeping up with what they're telling me to wear, what they're telling me to eat, what they're, so.
That's powerful. That's powerful. So I would say, okay, another question I have. Okay, so I remember these extensive talks we used to have back in the day, man. Okay, so I want to know from you, like, what centers you? Like, how do you find your stillness? Who or where do you go to center?
Oh, well, that's an interesting question.
what I mean?
Yeah, that's a real question because I think my approach is, my centering is a continual act. I'm doing it now as we talking. It's a continual act that I process by the 10th of a second within myself. And basically the meditation thereof are sitting quietly.
Okay.
That is, how you see certain movies, this is just my point of view, how you see certain movies and they say, or let Jesus let go and let Jesus take the wheel type deal, or just you have to allow certain things to come into yourself. It's like, I think to simply be or to get centered is not a forceful act. Okay. It's not. I don't look at it as something that we can just sit still and meditate and be quiet and obtain. That stillness is our very existence. That's how I process it, and it's almost like whether there was just complete darkness and then there was light. In between, I'm just going to use that religion, in between God, right, creating everything, he was finished, right, and but in that he was like still cool, like my work is done. It's like it's who I am. Like I'm like a finished product in retrospect. It's kind of hard to explain, but I do walk in as like, as I went on a podcast with Sammy, and I had kind of told him in another way. It's almost like most people are trying to become the best version of themselves. I really understand that, and I really get that concept. I'm for it. But at the same time, I think in this present moment, like this is really all we have. Like I am who I am. Like, well, like why is there a need to always feel like something needs to be better or improved? Because then that still is a state of uneasiness, anxiousness, insecurity. Like, no, man, like I'm cool, and it's almost like, who is setting these standards? Like, who is always trying to?
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
But
But that's how I. That's how I am. Like, so
yeah.
when you see me, I'm still gonna like. That's me. I'm not like. That's my perspective. I know everybody's not gonna process that perspective, but I'm cool, G.
Right. No, see, I want to dive deeper. I love talking to people like this, just to, have different perspectives. So, okay, so somebody like myself, I tell myself, like, I'm striving to become better because I know I need to do better things. There are things that I am trying to heal from. I know that there's some things that is kind of holding me back from where I'm ultimately for where I ultimately want to go. Right. So, okay, so what do you say to that person? Like, they know that they have, I guess, these vices or things that is kind of like, disabling them from their true potential. So, what do you tell that person?
You already that.
I'm already that.
That's the thing, and you're already that. We are already what we want to be, right? And like that's what we have to really, really digest. Like I think a lot of people have a hard time of digesting because you say you may be stuck in this place or I have this vice. Listen, everything that a person desires to be in retrospect, internally, spiritually, emotionally, you already that. It's already in you. Like it's not something that you have to. Like we saying getting better. It's not a skill. Like it's not something that like I have to go dribble a basketball with my right hand because I'm left-handed. It's not a skill set that you have to obtain or to learn. What you are and what you desire to be, you already have within you.
I understand that.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So I would tell a person, your just change the approach because. Again, that's just that forceful. You're trying to force a thing that's already there when you just have to allow it to be. And over time, right, instead of the forcing over time, because it's almost like I listened to this Slim, we listened to this podcast. I think his name was Joe Sorenza or something like that. But he's big into the mind. So it's almost like you're mind fucking yourself. It's a manipulation, but it's not because you're already there. But you're constantly, repeatedly, like letting yourself know, like I am this. I am this. So it's almost like an affirmation, like no difference, right? And ultimately, if you just keep doing that, like I say, about a tenth of a second daily, ultimately your behaviors will change too.
Okay, so you believe in affirmations and all that?
Well, I believe in it all. Like, I don't want to sound contradicting. Like, right? I believe in it all. That's what I mean by I respect every way because there's no one. Would you say there's no shoe fits all? Like, it's so many ways, man. It's so many lanes to get there. Like, so that's always I would say my opinion on my perspective. I got to do what works for me or what I understand and what I can process. So for you. The way you will understand and process things is going to be different from me, but doesn't mean we still won't end up in the same place, if that makes sense. Meaning, would that simply be? Your process may be a little different from mine, but ultimately we still, it's because there's nothing different. Like, we had this argument about religion because everyone thinks that like Hinduism or Buddhism or no, like they think it's all like they think religions are saying something different from one another. When ultimately, if you really break it down, they're all saying the same shit.
Same thing, but different perspectives.
Different perspectives.
Okay, so if someone will ask you, like, so what are you? So, like, when people ask me, so who do you? I'm not religious. I just say I have my own relationship with the Most High. I have my own relationship with God. So, what do you say? What are you?
I offend a lot of people because I'd be like, I am God. I am the it. I am everything that is. Like there, you cannot separate me from what that is. Like, so if you're gonna say, well, the Most High Power is the creator, I'm the creator. Then I am the Most High Power. Like, I am all there is. People get so angry.
This is good. This is good.
But I own it every day of my life. Because, and just what I try to illustrate to most believers and most people, it's like even when you have a child, like I try to make it practical as possible. If two people make a child, right? What is that child? That child embodies everything that you are, like literally. All the, trillion cells we have in our body, our makeup, that child has those same cells. It's karma. That's what I see karma as. Like karma is passed down genetically, right? That's people look at karma differently than I look at karma, but karma is what is passed down to us from generation to generation to generation. Our skin tone, the way our nose look, the way our eyes is. That's our natural habits. That's karma. Yeah, so my perspective on karma is more of what we know as generational curses. So karma or that karmic energy is something that is actually just passed down to generation, and that's where you're going to get like your food sensitivities, your natural habits, your structure of your nose, your eyes, those things. It's just you doing the same, like you may scratch your head the same way your mama did. Like that is karma. I know a lot of people look at karma as if you do something bad, that things come back, that come back on you. But I think if people were if we actually dissected that, we are kind of, that's
This
kind
is
of like
generational.
generational curse. That's what karma is to me.
Oh man, this is really good for me. I know that. Well, Jay, I'm trying to break generational curses in my family because it's a lot that we have. How does one approach that breaking the generational curse?
Ooh, so to approaching that is, first of all, I'm gonna say that is that's hell. That is a fiery pit that you have to walk through, because you have to think about the fact that you're trying to restructure 200 years of habits in retrospect, or a way of life, right? You're really trying to disrupt that energy, and with that being who we are, we carry that energy. The body, who you are internally, is not going to take kindly to that, because even everything that we are always trying to survive, right? And we're going to do what we feel, especially structure like the body is going to do what it feels is best for the body to survive, or so it's going to push you mentally to even do certain things, unconsciously vices per se, right? Because
Yeah.
same thing. That's all the body. The body pushes you towards those things because they know it's a comfort zone.
Yeah.
So we got to stay where we at to protect our well-being, because again, like I was listening to the podcast, you got to think about the stresses of life is the enemy, right? So Satan, devil, emotions is sin, right? People don't never, the emotional state or the unmanagement is sin. So when people talk about like the chakras and all that, or the casting down of Satan, they don't really understand, like, I hate to say the higher and lower self, because it's just the self. You can't separate it. But for demonstration purposes, like when God so-called cast Satan down, that was really what you call an allegory to the human body of you just going down into that lower emotional state. People never correlate the two. Even when you're talking about like religion, period, it's always talking about the body. So let me give you an example in the body so they can hear it in the podcast. Because, even in the Old Testament, it says that, God himself, I am that I am, says that I don't dwell in the temples that are made by the hands of man. People don't realize you only have two other temples. So where does he dwell? Here, internally, right?
Wow.
And I always go tell people to go, because, most Christians think they like study the Bible. And I could take other religions, even like Islam, arm, leg, arm, if they understood the real meaning behind a lot of this stuff. It points directly to the body. So I would even tell people to go research like Christos fluid. Christos, we produce a fluid. But anyway, you go get that, you produce everything.
Yeah.
Like even like Christ himself was, Yeshua would say like, I am in my Father's in you. Like
Would you call him?
Yeshua.
Yeshua.
Yeah, and it's
Okay.
like he kept trying to tell everyone that the kingdom is in you. The kingdom is in you. But we make our own. Some things you gotta take like literally, just for the Christian. But yes, like everything that is in you, bro. Like
I understand that.
yeah,
When you say you are God, I understand that perspective.
Fullest.
For me per se, it's like my view. I know that I come from God. I know that I'm not per se him, but I'm a part of him. My view is like, okay, God wanted to experience this physical reality, and I come from that. And my goal is to do as best as I can to return back to that source.
Yeah.
That's my point
real.
of view.
I mean, that's everyone's
Like you
no.
say,
I fuck with it. But
yeah.
I mean, and I'm not finna be like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's real. No, because that is right too, though. That is 100% right, and it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I get this flack. So, you know, what do you stand for? Well, I stand for that very thing. Like, if you seem like you okay with everything, no, I just stand for that very thing. Everyone is trying to get back to that power or that higher source. Why would I refute? That's what I stand for, because that's what we are. That's what we come from, and it's like,
Okay.
I hear you on that, and it's just like you trying to get back to that, but it's like people said that God wanted to experience this life, what this is. You are that. You are experiencing that. I feel like we created that. Like we always want to separate everything, which I feel religion does the best at. That's all it does, is just separates. So we create the ego, and we separate the ego from the self. And you can't. It's all one union. Everything is all one thing, and we always separating everything. It's almost like the sun and the moon. You can't separate the two, though. There's different functions. It goes hand in hand.
Coexist,
Hot, cold.
Yep.
Though there's opposite.
Okay.
Because good bacteria, bad bacteria, there is one union doing one thing to produce life.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
So when people be like, you know, you gotta destroy the ego. What's your take on that?
I enjoy my ego. But because, I mean, people, it's like it's almost it's like it's contradicting, right? Because like I am not my ego, but we are the ego, though. Like you can't. Why would you want to? It's almost like people have a hard time accepting we are as a people, because I was there. You know, we have a hard time accepting like the so-called bad. That's really what that is, right? The ego. That's really when you get down to the root of it. I don't like to play those type of games. Like it's just really people having a hard time to accept what was told to them, because we live in certain paradigms. What is deemed bad, like about yourself, or you procrastinate. That's considered, you know, like those things.
Yeah.
You end up, are you just arrogant, or you bold, you know, because the ego, or you what's the word, narcissistic, you know. So it's like, and it's just people having a hard time accepting those things about themselves. So me, I accept and enjoy, and I'm with every fucking thing about myself, whether you want to call it I'm a narcissist or you are, I don't give a fuck what you call me.
Yeah, no, they love that word.
You know, I am who I am. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to play those type of games, because if truth be told, those people are the same thing. I mean, we all have those same traits. So why are you trying to, like, again, utilize unnecessary energy to, you know, point the finger at me, when I guarantee you I can, if we was to sit down and go through your life, there's been plenty of opportunities or times where you were a narcissist, you were this or you were that. So it's like, just start embracing. I just embrace all of it. I mean, stop separating it. I mean, you can't. I always tell people, even in the Bible, people get mad about me about this too, but it's like, who created it? If God at the high power is so-called everything, he created Satan, he created all this. So he created evil, right? He created jealousy, he created all those things. And I think people, even Christian, they really have a hard time with me. They get mad when I say that. Like, bro, he is darkness, he is light, he is all of those things. And if he accepts it, if he thrives in it, why can't we? Why can't we?
Not it. Listen,
Not what you know.
I love having stuff like this, because it helps open your mind to new perspectives. And I would say coming up, I have a religious background coming up. My family was very religious, and it was just one day I'm in church, and I'm looking at everybody, catching the Holy Spirit, and I just did not empathize with that. I did not feel that at all. So that was, I guess you could say, the catalyst for me to go and find my own relationship with God. So let me ask you this. How did you even come to this perspective? What did you go through?
I think the same thing as you. It's like naturally, I've been like this for a long time. I just didn't make sense of it all, especially growing up in the Baptist church and you see people, and there's no knock. I'm not making fun.
Yeah,
of
we
bro.
not. Yeah, this is.
It's like you see these people catching the Holy Ghost and all that, and it's just like, man, what are we really doing? Or they start speaking in tongues, and it's just like, I'm like you. It didn't resonate with me.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking them, but it didn't
Yeah,
do anything
yeah.
for me. You know what I mean? Personally, for me to get so called closer to God or that
Right.
higher power, it just didn't make no sense, man. People jumping over pulpits and balconies
Yeah.
and we can even turn that around. That was really a lot of that stuff is really just ego for them. I'm not even gonna get into that, but anyway, I just kind of start asking a bunch of questions. That's how it started for me,
Yeah.
a bunch of questions, man. And I'm not even gonna lie, a lot in my pursuit, in what we know as today, I was in a dark place in this pursuit for years. Just kind of like dived into other religion and learning, like really trying to actually learn the different aspects of life when it comes even like to the science part, like numerology,
Yeah.
the zodiac, all that
Yeah,
type of stuff. Just to be honest, I've dived in it probably a little bit too much than I needed to, but I
Okay.
was really trying to find I guess a homeostasis, a balance for myself. What makes sense to me? What is going to resonate with me? And I guess through it all, I actually end up being more annoyed by it all than anything because it's almost like I was given those things and other perspectives too much power or energy over my own being, over my own self, over my own life. And that's when I went on a pause. I had to pause, like myself, like,
Okay.
man, like, I had to ask myself, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
because I also preached back in the day, I ain't gonna say preach, but one of my things was, nigga, be your own person. But in actuality, I really wasn't being, quote unquote, my own person because I was just regurgitating information that, just like everybody else, which I think you can't get around that in life, because no matter what, it's all passed down, karmic energy. It's
Okay.
just all. But
Okay.
for the
Okay.
most part, I just stopped listening to everyone's point of views.
Okay.
And just whatever I fell into, whether it was good or bad jazz, whatever I fell into is what I fell into. And then I found a rhythm for myself.
Okay. So take us through that dark space then.
In that dark space, that's when I was what you call an introvert. I was really, really, really like I guess into myself. That's probably one of the time in my life where I was very, very selfish. Like
What ages were?
this is, I guess, me going through 27 to like 31
Okay.
was some like real like. I guess I really took that hard turn because it was just more. I was just annoyed by so much in this life, and it's. I guess kind of like what you said at the beginning. Even back then, it's the same shit. Everyone is just trying to keep up with the Mr. Joneses. There was nothing authentic. There was nothing real. I didn't think that I can be my authentic self anywhere because you're just going to be judged. Like I didn't like. That's where I was in that space. It's just like.
Okay.
Then you got those expectations and people view you a certain way, like your family is pulling you in this direction, and then you got your friends maybe pulling you in that direction, and you got your career probably pulling you in that direction, and there was
Right.
so many things like tugging, and at the same time you're performing, because that's all we do. We end up performing for each of those avenues, right? And at the end of the day, it gets exhausting. It got exhausting for me.
Okay.
And that's when I was just like, I got to figure something out for myself because
Okay.
I'm just gonna crash.
Okay.
crash.
So what brought you out of that dark space then?
Um, I can't be like most people and say it was just some type of magical moment. But I just stopped listening to the
Okay.
the many voices that we're exposed to every single day, and even from my own past, kind of like we say, trying to heal. I even let my past trauma, all that stuff, I had to let it all go. I just like, man, enough is enough. That's kind of like the point that I got into, and I have to create something new for myself.
Okay.
And basically, that's when I kind of just started walking into, man, so whatever I am this day, I took it day by day. Whatever I was that day, that's what the fuck it was going to be, and I was going to own every bit of it. And day by day, it's just, I turned into this.
Okay. So you being a leader of a community, you being a man of your family, just a pillar in the community, right? People look up to you. How do you lead your community in that sense? Like, because I'm gonna tell you, because people look to, I'm that friend that people can come to and, dump all their problems with, and I do my best to just listen to them. I do my best to give them advice that I do have. So how do you lead your community in that sense?
Trying to give people an access way or tools. I don't want to even use the word tools, but an access way to learn to deal with the self. Like, I think I do, even in my own family, like, or just take my daughter,
Yeah.
I don't raise her to make her handicapped. I raise her to survive. And I raise her in the sense of you have to find what works for you, right? And I can't be the one, like as a leader, trying to tell you, like, or trying to tell you what to do with your problems. I can't do that as a leader. Like I don't think that's because if I was to die the next day, and you were always leaning on me to give you our way out, was I a good leader? You know what I'm saying? So I try to do my best to let people figure things out for themselves. I would listen to you. I'm like, yeah, I would listen to you all day. And I will give you a word, but I'm only giving you, you already know, I would give you so much, but you got to go work it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I could give people way more and I can hold your hand. I really could, but I just choose not to. So I just try to I guess you could say I try to do just enough
Okay.
as a leader to
I feel that.
get them through.
Yeah.
But you have to.
I definitely
Gotta
feel
figure
that.
it
I
out.
feel that
Yeah.
because that definitely makes sense too. Because I feel like shit, if you just continue pouring into somebody, they gonna be expecting it now.
Yeah.
Then see now you handicapping them now. So I get that. I get that.
And we are, like I always say, like people, we are more powerful than we think. And a lot of people walk around so insecure. Like I want to give you, you hold a power. Like you got it. You know what I mean? You really don't need people like you think you need people in retrospect. And I try to let people know that. I mean, I hope, and more importantly, as a leader, I always tell people, and I'm like this even with these other trainers and coaches, especially at these colleges and high schools, it's terrible. But like, nigga, walk it out. I think that's why maybe, I don't know. I'm guessing. Maybe that's why I am who I am, because I am one of the few individuals. Because I've been around a lot of individuals I see, I watch. I walk my shit out, so it's easy for people to piggyback or to look what I'm doing, what I'm not doing as a leader. They're gonna listen to me or they're gonna follow me because I live it.
Like, do it, yeah.
I live it.
Yep.
So even I think it's easy. You know, you look at the household, like even for my kids, like I don't have to. It's just they see daddy, they see what this nigga do day in, day out.
Mm-hmm.
And I am kind of like I'm pretty transparent. Of course, you got those secret things, but I feel like I'm an open book. even when I try to hide shit still be like come out on my ass. So I'm not good at that. So I think it's easy for people to believe me. I think.
Nah, that's a fact though. I tell people this too. Like I feel like me and my training, really with the guys per se, the guys really rock with me because they see me. I'm really like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I would say, the majority of my clients are males, are guys, because they see me embodying that. So go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying, in most males, they got to keep it 100. Like, I'm not going to do a sneak peek of the other podcast, but I think she hit it on. I think most males won't give a woman or women enough credit of being the great leaders because, honestly, in the past, 200 years, right, women raised kids, women raised men, women raise the family. Women are really the backbones of what everything is. And I think, like you say, most men, like, I don't want to spoil it, but most men do live their life more so in I'm trying to prove myself more than anything, right? And
Yeah.
I think a man will respect what you're doing because it still puts them back like in that like mother state. Like
I don't think so, Jay. Let me tell you.
yeah, let me hear this. I gotta hear this.
And this is things that I battle with to this day. Like just with over there, in a sense.
Yeah.
The only woman in there, right? And this is probably just me saying this, but I felt like they wanted me to dim my light. I felt like that's what I felt. And I'm like, I'm not going. This is who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know how to not project my voice and own the room. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I felt like that, and I really feel like that everywhere I go because I'm the only woman like that, and it's just like I don't know, man. Probably just me.
Yeah, no, it's not just you. I just think that again, it's gonna just show how many, and it's just women too. But we're gonna get on the men, but like
Yeah.
most men walk around with their chest out, but they're so insecure. That is the thing. Like they probably get mad at me saying that, but the men that need that validation constantly, like that's what they're doing it for. They just want to be validated as that nigga, or I'm the man of the house, are insecure. Like, they need that, like wholeheartedly because they can't find that within themselves. And I think you're going to see certain men, and like myself, I don't need not a woman, not a child, not a career, nothing to validate me as a man and who I am. Like, I know who I am. So I would never want you to dim who you are, especially my lady, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or a lady, period.
For sure.
My daughter.
Yeah.
I like to, just to,
For sure.
to stroke my, part of myself. No.
Got you.
If, just say if you was in a gym, right? Even if it's a woman, right? It don't matter. The people that are in your circle, you want them to be as strong as they possibly can because shit happens, and you building them up or them just being them. I don't like to use that word. Like, you don't have to build nobody up. But them being who they are in totality ultimately keeps the tribe alive.
For sure.
Right? So if we feeling like men, if you causing people in your family to like have to dim their light just to make you feel like a man or a woman, I think you're handicapping yourself and you're not experiencing all that you can experience as that power being. Or so. Yeah, I can see that. That's tough. Though.
Okay.
That's
Do
tough.
you believe in?
That's tough.
You hear a lot about the alpha male, alpha male, beta male. Like, what's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely get the alpha male and the beta male, but my perspective is 98% of men today are beta.
Let's talk about it.
I've said that shit out loud. And you know, and I hate to be like this, and I know this don't have shit to do with being a man, whether you're painting your nails or
Yeah.
carrying the little man bags or wearing the skinny jeans. I know they don't have anything to do with it. I'm not. But if you look at men today, I mean, and I ain't even trying to call him out. It's just like, you know, for real had the big ass purse on his lap. Like, it's almost like, do I blame the male because 98% of the males are beta males when I feel like society has actually demasculated the man, right, as a whole. This is my personal opinion. And even taking like Father's Day, it is one of the least celebrated days out of the calendar, period. You know what I mean? And, you know, I had this conversation with a few females, even including my daughter, younger, that I train. And it's like, they said, do you think that men have done it to themselves? And the question is maybe a little bit.
Okay.
You know, but I think, too, whatever agendas are pushing, or I think even for women to make a rise like I've had, I think that it needed to happen to a certain extent, because I think if the male was never demasculated, women would have never had a voice.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay.
But now it's just like, with that being said, I think now men are, it's almost like we're having to we have to find ourselves again. Like, and I think it's going to be a more true sense of what a man is, I guess, because now it's going to be hard for you to find women that's going to like just sit there and stroke your ego all day now.
For sure. This is a fact. This is a fact, bro. You being a man's man, I view you as an alpha man.
Yeah, because I am a man.
Right.
I'm not doing the fanny packs. I don't.
Yeah.
And there's no knock to all that, but
Yeah.
I don't go get the manicures and pedicures. I'm saying it out loud, man. There's no knock to y'all, but I don't do that. I do it myself.
Okay.
Even like I don't even like to throw my information, but Slim would try to she would try to hold me at night. I'm not letting her, I don't let her, you're not holding me.
Okay.
Like I'm that type of guy. Like I'm
Okay.
I'm so alpha, like I'm not, you know, most dudes will turn and let that girl
They little spoon.
I'm not
want that.
doing that.
Yeah.
Like I'm still the guy that can use my hands,
Yeah.
fix things, but yeah, I am. I guess what you could sit on. You know, most people say I'm old school. They call me Unc because I am like.
Yeah. You don't come across a lot of real alpha men. So let's take it back for the people. In your words, what is an alpha man?
In my words, we're gonna start off by using alpha man doesn't need a validation from a woman. Number one, he is that.
Yeah.
I think that, and then an alpha man is not. We're not cute. Point blank.
Yeah.
It's just like we're not like. Why do we need to go out our way to be prettier than a female? Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's. I don't know.
I'm loving it. Keep going.
And I mean, in my definition, 3, I mean, we own our shit. Like, meaning like me explaining to you, like everything that I am, I own it, whether it's good or bad.
Okay.
My family knows that about me. Like, whether I fucked up, whether I didn't, I'm not gonna hide from it. Okay. I'm not gonna be. And they even know it's kind of like a good and bad trait, because I am, like, if I wrong you or if I fuck up, I am sorry. But at the same time, I'm not going to go out my way to either to prove you nothing either. You know what I mean? So either you're going to take everything that I am or you just not.
Okay.
Because of who I am, and then naturally as a man, because I am a protector.
Yes.
I give myself. I think a man, an alpha man, is really sacrifice. I sacrifice myself, man. Like, it's no different from the lion that may be lazy, right? But once the other lion comes to challenge, it's a lot of times it's life or death for them. Or even when they cubs, they sacrifice themselves. Even from a silverback gorilla or any alpha or any person that's taking care of a tribe, and it's sacrifice, man. And a lot of men don't get that or understand that today, but I mean, I think that's what an alpha man does. You know what I mean?
Sure, for
And
sure.
unapologetically, like I'm proud to be able to, especially if I brought a creation in, especially kids and shit like that, or if I found a lady, you know, like, yeah, man, it's our duty naturally. You know what I mean? Like, I think I'm gonna break it down in these simple terms, but it's almost like that GOAT word. But if you have to call yourself an alpha, you're not an alpha. If you have to call yourself or you deem yourself to go, you're not a GOAT because your people, your tribe, and I think every great leader, like they're gonna get that to you,
Yeah.
right? Because even in old kingdoms, if you wasn't a great leader, they gonna off you or like
Yup.
they didn't give no fucks, you know.
Yeah.
So, but if you that, you gonna know you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
The people gonna give that to you.
Yeah, they gonna give it to
Factuals. Okay.
you. Yeah, like
Okay.
you can look through certain families and shit as an alpha, like it's like what you're exuding every single day is your tribe that, or if they following that, because you can see it through that, man. And
Yeah.
a lot of niggas do call themselves alphas, but if you look at their families, it's fucked up. It's fucked up. Like, so it's
Okay.
so yeah. I mean,
All right. I'm loving this, bro. Like, okay, so when you said 98% of men are betas,
they gonna be mad at me.
do you, being how the society is today, should it be more alpha men? Should it be the same way? Like, in your perspective, should there be more men coming into their alpha men? You know what I'm saying? Or should it be exactly how it is? Should men be beta?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm gonna go on and say, I think it is what it is.
Okay, yeah.
It should be what it should be.
Okay.
I think if I would like to say yes, man. I would like to see more alpha men because I feel like there'd be less separation in families. I think that then you can easierly, right, when it comes to like kids you have, break certain generational curses because now men are grabbing life or their life. It has to start with them by the horns and just locking in on certain shit, knowing that our tribe have to continue to expand and grow and to increase territory. But no, I mean, I think it should be what it is because at the same time, how I look at it now, I have a daughter. Without this change, I think that it maybe would have been a little scarier for women nowadays. I feel like this change of where things are now have really given women a voice and I think due respect. Like I told you, like I was just watching my mom, bro. It's like I'm not gonna shun who y'all are. I did this one short video a long time ago. I deleted it, calling women the CEOs of their household because the men, we play a big part, bro. Yeah, we protect, we're providers, we bring in the money. But most importantly, what's not talked about is the woman taking care of the home.
Yeah.
And that is just as important as the man going home bringing in the money.
Yeah.
So for now, the man to have all say, there's an imbalance
Okay.
that takes place, right?
Okay.
Because even if you look at life, there's two different functions. People pay attention. You have the sun and the fucking moon.
Yeah.
You have hot and you have fucking cold.
Sure.
You have good and you have fucking bad. Now, in this life as we know it, the sun is not over the fucking moon and the moon is not over the fucking sun.
Right there.
There's a balance.
Okay.
And for there to be real power or real harmony or success thereof in terms of family, there has to be balance.
Most definitely. That masculine and feminine energy coexisting.
And the thing about that is, Jazz, like even for men, we are both that and women are both that.
Yeah.
Like,
This is true.
yeah, so
Nowadays it's like most men, they have more feminine characteristics.
statistics, yep.
But we all do embody and now, being that the men have more femininity, it's like the women has to force being masculine now. And it's kind of like, man, I was just having this conversation. It's like, man, okay, so do you feel like the man does need to step up more? That's my view.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it'll put the woman in her place. Women, I talk to a lot of women. Women want to submit, but what the hell am I submitting to?
That's a
You
fact.
ain't giving me nothing to submit to.
And I think that comes down like to what like natural energy is, like that natural instinct of a man, natural instinct of a woman.
Yeah.
And you're right. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Men, that we're not taking our thrones, man.
Okay.
You got a lot of men that'll be okay with letting a woman take care of them, but don't want to take what comes with that. But it's like, I remember I told you that a long time ago. I can't just sit back, and it's no knock to a woman. Let me get there. But I can't just let a woman take care of me. I'm sorry. In that sense, like right, you go through that as a baby or infant with your mother. She breastfeeds you. She changes your diapers. But man, once you become a man, I feel like now it's your turn to give that back to that woman. Give that back to your mother.
Yeah.
Take care of her. If my mother was still alive, she wouldn't be working right now. She wouldn't. I would be pampering her. She paid her dues. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be my duty. She raised me up to now come take and be king of that tribe. Like take care of us. But that's not a thing no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but anyway,
that's a fact, bro.
man, that's the way I look at that. But yeah, I wish we did have more men.
Yeah.
Man.
How do you lead your daughter? Like so when you talking to your daughter about relationships and stuff like that, like what do you want to see her do? And I know you gonna be like, that's what she want to do, but how do you lead her as her father?
Just basically, these are things that I would tell her. I'm gonna be transparent, be keeping it real. Like, I always let her know before you enter a real relationship. Just make sure that you are whole. Don't go into the relationship seeking like security from that individual or making an individual make you feel a certain way. You got to have those things internally for yourself, so therefore you can actually just experience that individual actually experiencing them, because you don't need nothing from them. But y'all energies collide. Therefore, y'all are really two people that can enjoy each other. I let her know that. So find that security. I also tell her to a certain extent to make sure that you could take care of yourself too, though, especially in today's time, financially. Even if just say she got a woman, I'm saying this woman or a man that can financially support her, make sure you have degrees or have something on your back burner too. So if anything happens, and I think that's where the imbalance came from in the past for men and women, if the man somehow loses a job, can't find a job, you're still able now to pick up that slack.
Right.
So I just want to make sure that she's self-efficient.
Okay.
I tell her all the time, try to find a relationship that is real. So don't be walking around here half fucking naked, because if you walk around like that all the time, don't be mad then of what you get, bro. Like people may say, "Oh, men should control themselves," or women, or people should control themselves. Now, people gonna be them.
Yep.
Right at the end of the day, so it's like what you're putting out there is what you're gonna get. So man, carry yourself like a fucking lady.
For sure that. For sure.
I be so serious about that. There used to be a comedian, I forget her name, bro, but she used to always say there's a black comedian, but I am a fucking lady. Like, carry yourself such as that, man. Okay. So that way, like the nigga you talk to or female you talk to, like you got something that's real. Like it ain't just lustful and because I think you want that realness, and then you want that relationship where you could be 100% organic. Be organic. You want to be able to be yourself. You have to suppress yourself, I think. That ain't you need to like reevaluate that or have some hard talks with that individual, because the person that you end up with, I tell her this, make sure that you can be 100% authentic yourself. Let them know from the jump, this is what you're getting. This is what you're getting into. Don't be alarmed. Don't be surprised. Can you handle it?
Most definitely, bro. Segueing into, I want to dive a little bit more deeper in your perspective on training, right? Talk a little bit more about your business, Jump God Nutrition, Jump God Performance. I want you to just pop it right now. Training aspects.
Training aspects, underrated rest. It's underrated, though. We don't get enough of it. I think as trainers and athletes, you have to rest as much as possible to maximize everything that you're putting into it. And I'm just going to say that a lot. I think that's just a huge thing right now in our time because everyone is grinding really, really hard to get somewhere. And not enough people are, and I'm going to take that in this instance, is slowing down to reap. You have to slow down to reap thereof or to pay attention. But Jump Guard Nutrition, Apollo Gonzalez, shout out to you, man. It's one of the parents that I built a relationship with. Originally, it was his idea. Let me say that out loud. I'm going to give him his flowers. And I just piggybacked off the idea with him, and we kind of came together and made the company because of this. So when you go on to tournaments or you see these guys come to me training, all they're eating is just like hot chips, sour patches, slush, hot dogs, pizza at these tournaments. And 98% of this is fact, 98% of the population is already dehydrated. And for kids to actually get everything they can get out of their body that given day or that given tournament or whatever they're doing, you got to put better things in the body, right?
Most definitely.
And so that's what an actual box come in, and it's there to design kids to get through trainings, get through tournaments. It gives you proper hydration. It gives you easy digestible carbohydrates.
Okay.
That you don't got those oily foods just sitting on you. You don't have to worry about cramping up in training or in games. And everything in that box right now is handpicked. I've done a lot of research. I've talked to the companies. I went back and forth with certain, like not to have certain chemicals in those products to be clean as possible.
Okay.
So I wish, kids would take nutrition or athletes would take nutrition a whole lot more serious, especially the youth.
Okay.
And that's where we coming in, man. We're trying to provide that for organizations, schools, pros, et cetera, because you gotta take care of that body. You gotta fuel the body properly.
I like this.
And in that box, it gives you instructions on how to use the box. It's really, really dope. So even if you didn't have food, the great thing about this box is, even if you don't have food, you're good. And if you have food, you're still good. So just say if you're on a tournament weekend and the team goes out eat X, Y, Z, you can still have this in your back pocket to make sure you're digesting that too. Because again, if you're going out to eat, a lot of times there's gonna be some hot wings with the team or some BS,
nachos and all that.
Yeah, so we're trying to do our part in aiding into helping athletes achieve peak performance, man. And that's going to start with what you're putting in the system. And so far, I think we everyone is loving it. It makes a lot of sense. We have plenty of testimonies where kids are actually feeling differences between trainings and tournament play. We had a couple of kids that was cramping real bad through games. We gave them boxes for the weekend and didn't have any cramps.
Okay.
So even when it comes down just to having like mental clarity, having enough energy to get through it all, I mean, that's where we're coming in play. And it's going to be even more. We have more that'll be coming with JGN because we're going to end up having an automated system too to basically if you're going, town to town, we're going to have a system to where it'll let you know what to eat, when to eat, where to eat to get the best possibly bang for your buck when it comes to nutritional input.
Man, this is like vital, man. Y'all tap in, man. JGN, Jump Guard Nutrition. So give them the website.
Yeah, it'll be jumpguardperformance.com.
Okay.
You on the website you can go athletic side or you can go nutrition side, but just make sure you click on the JGN logo and get your nutrition box. And for those for everyone that knows me, I do take nutrition very seriously. Like even right now, you kids take notes. And my diet is basically made up of 75% fruit.
Okay.
That's basically all I do. I've been doing it for a while. And I basically just have meals, or I have a box when I know that I just need that little extra oomph while I'm about to work out or I'm coming off a workout.
Okay.
But
Okay. Do you see yourself ultimately being like raw, just
raw
raw,
food is
raw food?
I've done that. I've
Okay.
done that for a year.
Okay.
In the past, me and a guy named by the name of Jamon Hamilton, I actually did it as an experiment. I was just telling these kids the other day. I think I told you this back in the past. I've done every lifestyle out there for at least a year already.
Okay.
Because I just didn't want to tell you I embodied it. I just didn't want to be talking shit or just trying to be one of the smart guys thereof nowadays. I really wanted to know the ins and outs of what the diet actually does to the body and watch other people and watch what it does to their body as well. So I've done, I think, the real necessary research in retrospect, which is still kind of hard when it comes to these studies because we all have different ethnicities, come from different places, and getting that karmic energy, but still kind of get like a general idea of what is.
Okay.
And I've done from the paleo to the vegetarian to a vegan. Goddamn,
Yeah.
everything.
Which one you like better?
They'll call it the fruitarian or fruititium, whatever you want to call it, but more of the fruit diet. I think,
Okay.
because again, it's more about being properly hydrated and getting efficient amount of minerals daily in the human structure more so than anything. You think about the protein breakdown, it's nothing but amino acids. It's just minerals broken down. They create this big concept word protein, and people think they got to consume a ton of fucking meat and everything else to get what the body needs to produce muscle, and that's not true.
Okay. So talk to like your clients, right? You know, because they're gonna be looking. They're gonna tap in, man. Like,
Let's go.
get them some game right now, like, because I see, you working with the hottest guys in the city right now, man. Like, if you can just give them some words of encouragement, some game right now, man, just kind of let it rip.
And I'll say this, and I hope you put this part out there because
sure.
like I'm one of the trainers that actually has been in Houston for a very long time, training some of the best athletes in the city, like you would say. And it's a lot of people that claim, "Oh, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've been around the game of basketball, et cetera, et cetera." But I started like way back when some of the top guys were just getting started, and I can name them from like the Chris Gassens of the world, Chris Johnsons of the world, Coach Ward. It was a lot of guys that, we was the kind of like so-called the pioneers through it all, and everyone, I feel like, piggyback what was created. And I think in the athletic world, my stance, we won't get the same amount of credit as like skills guys will get for the development thereof. But for you youth out there, I just think now, like right now, I think it's just a time to dare to be different. That's the best advice I can give these kids. I say it all the time, man. Just don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to stand in your own lane. Don't be afraid to do the extra work because that's all greatness is at the end of the day. It's just doing the ordinary things, just that a little bit more. There is no like secret formula to what Kobe did. He was just in the gym first and last. There's no secret to it, And I think these kids gotta understand that. And if you like feel like this is something that you really gotta do, I said this the other day. People call people like Beyonce's and the Tyler Perry's and LeBron's, all the people that Oprah Winfrey's, they call them sellouts, or Jay-Z's, or them guys are a part of the Illuminati. They sell their soul, or are they demonically obsessed, or they. But I think we all have to realize you have to become obsessed. Like you have to be demonic in retrospect. I'm just using that as a concept. You have to be so locked in onto what you're doing because everything that you are, you have to give to that thing. For sure. For you to, I guess climb them charts like you want to climb. It's like when Mamba gave that last speech, like he was just letting people, he gave everything he was to the game of basketball.
For sure.
Like everything he was. Like And I think if you take that approach to anything in life, that's just like me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I told these kids, I say y'all are witnessing, or at least one of the few trainers that I've given everything that I am to my craft.
Yeah.
Like,
And it shows.
like in the show, like everything. And I think for you to hit a level of success or that godlike power or that freakishness, that difference, just being different. Kobe was different. You got to do that. You got to do that. And I think, you got to have that mental capacity to be able to take that challenge on because it's a challenge.
For sure, bro. That's some cold game right there, man. My last thing, bro. You are like one of few people that I take advice from and I apply that shit.
Yeah, you did, though. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, you did. Before you go, I got to give Jazz her flowers, though, man, because I've said it before. You got to understand, y'all have to understand how many people, and I'm talking about highly successful people, too. I've been around a lot of people and been a part of their process and journey, but it's been very few people that have actually took what was given and just ran with this shit. I've told you, and I have to give you a flower because you're one of the few people that actually have done that shit, man.
Yes, sir.
Kudos to you, man.
Appreciate it. I was gonna say like like I said, you are one of few people that I do, and so I just don't like wasting people's time. Like you already spending your energy everywhere else. So if you sit down with me and tell me something, I'm going to apply it. So, saying that now, you knowing me for these years, and you see the transition that I'm making, what words of wisdom that you could give me? Do you have any constructive criticism for me? Like anything that you kind of see, like from the outside looking in, like things that I can do to be better and just really solidify myself as like an entrepreneur out here?
Yeah. One advice that I will give you right now is stop holding back.
Okay.
That is the one, I think, the one advice. I think that if you can keep embodying everything that you are and speak loudly, you're going to have a crazy amount of success.
Okay.
Because I think who you are is so relatable. I think you can touch so many people with who you are. I'm talking about with everything that you are. And even the stuff that I come across, because people know, I'm on social media, but it's more so to do my own business. But every time I come across stuff, I'm going to listen, I'm going to comment, because I feel like you are one of the few authentic energies, especially in our area right now. And we need so much of that. You have no idea. So I just hope that's my advice, man, that you don't dim your light no longer, bro. Like, just let it all out. Like, let it all out. Like, 100%.
For sure, bro.
Like,
I got you.
100%.
What,
yeah.
man? I got you. Bro, this was very insightful. This was a vibe, bro, to just sit down with, like, my big brother and, I don't know, just, catch up, bro. So,
Talk, we both be moving, bro.
man, what? So, last words you have for the people, man. Tell them where to find you and just, just kind of plug your situation a little bit more.
Make sure y'all go follow me on Instagram, Jump God Athletics. Go to the Webby, jumpgodperformance.com. Just lock in with what we're doing. Man, if y'all don't, and that's the only platform I really work. A lot of people are telling me to get on this YouTube thing, which I think I am going to take that.
Sure.
Take that challenge on and try to create this little YouTube channel, do some things on the YouTube. But more importantly, tap in with me on Instagram, because that's really where I do all my advertisement. I'm going to start giving more tips and full workouts. So y'all boys stay tuned. A lot to come. It's going to be a lot to come.
For sure that, man. And y'all are tuned into another Cold Game Conversation. And I am your host, Jazz Avante. Man, like, comment, subscribe, and share, man. Let's go, man. We out. Hey.